The Chery brand has been in the Philippines for quite some time. However, its offerings back then were not as good as the ones they have today. Remember the Chery QQ? But those were the days. Chery has undergone a surgical rebranding and obviously a major overhaul in their design and engineering departments, which is probably why I'm now seeing quite a lot of Cherys on the road. It's undeniable that Chery has evolved, but good looks are not enough to make a car good. It must also perform well, and more importantly, it must justify its price. The Chery Tiggo 2 Pro that we have today is a subcompact crossover that's obviously a budget-friendly car directed towards people who are looking to buy their first brand new car, such as young professionals. But does it provide the value that these people are looking for from cars in this segment? Let's find out in this review. But before that, huge thanks to Chery Bacolor Pampanga for letting me have this car for this review. And if you guys want to take the Tiggo 2 Pro for a spin, I'll leave their contact details in the description below. Folks, let's get started.
Baby, you're my pillow, soft like dreams. 스치는 손끝마저 perfect. Now I'm pulled up. Baby, I can't look back anymore. 네 품 안에서 잠든 듯해. Hug me more. 복잡해.
The Tiggo 2 Pro features a streamlined body shape, making it easy on the eyes. There are no unusual body lines either at the side or at the back. It's mainly clean, except for its wide grille that extends all the way to its daytime running lights. And here we have it, the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. And let's start with a tour of its exterior features. But first, let's begin with my favorite part in the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, which is this wide grille that gives this car a menacing look if you're looking at it from the rear view mirror of your car. It has these very sleek curving lines from its hood all the way to the back of the car. And one thing that I also like about the design of the Tiggo 2 Pro is that these slats that you can see here on the grille continues to its daytime running light. When you're looking at the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro from the front, it appears bigger than it really is, but its size becomes more apparent when you look at it from the side. The Chery Tiggo 2 Pro has these matte plastic trims above the wheel wells, which gives the car an impression that it sits higher on the ground. The windows of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro has this slight upward curve, and so it contributes to the streamlined look of the car. And if you'll notice, the contours of the window and even the base trim of the window follow or seem to follow the contour of the Tiggo 2 Pro's roof. At the back, the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro features a large rear taillight. And as you can see, the taillight wraps from the back all the way to the side, just a few inches from its C-pillar, which I think gives this car a very futuristic touch. I also like the sloping line that you can see when you look at the Tiggo 2 Pro from the side, the sloping line from that roof all the way to its rear bumper. The taillights are connected as one, and aside from the attention-grabbing taillights, the rear panel of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is clean. It also has these faux vents over here and these plastic trims at the base of the car that connects the two plastic trims from the front wheel well all the way to the rear wheel well. And by the way, this car comes with 16-inch wheels wrapped by 205/55 R16 tires. The Tiggo 2 Pro also comes with 4 disc brakes. And now let's move to its interior features. When you step inside the Tiggo 2 Pro, you'll immediately notice the car's nice and sporty interior. And although it isn't luxurious by any means, at this price point, you won't expect it to be. But it's evident that the company included as many interior features and designs as economically viable. And in no way does it look cheap. When you step inside the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, you'll be greeted by this leather-wrapped steering wheel with a flat bottom portion. It also has this faux aluminum trim here, which give this steering wheel a nice touch. But what I like most about the steering wheel of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is that it has several buttons here to make driving easier for you. At the right side, it has these volume controls, call controls, and other functions here, such as mode and to play the previous music and the next music. Over to the left side of the steering wheel, you have your buttons for cruise control. At the driver's side, you'll get access to all 4 windows of the car. But what I noticed about the window controls of the Tiggo 2 Pro is that all 4 of them, with just a push of a button, automatically opens the window. However, none of these window controls automatically closes the window, and so to close the window you have to hold the control until it fully closes. Over here you have your faux aluminum door handle, complemented by this faux aluminum trim over here, which completes the overall look of the Tiggo 2 Pro's dashboard. And if you look at it from afar, it has this very youthful and sporty vibe. The driver dashboard of the Tiggo 2 Pro is this very simple yet functional dashboard. At the right side of the dashboard, you have your tachometer, and on the left side, you have your speedometer. And at the center, you'll get various information such as the car temperature and the fuel capacity. And as you can see, the driver dashboard is connected by this smooth swooping line to the center console. And so it has an impression that the driver dashboard and the center console are one unit. The center console of the Tiggo 2 Pro has these colorful icons over here. And navigating the center console of this car is actually very simple. But of course, what I like most about this center console is that it comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, to activate or to enable these features, you have to plug in your phone to this USB here. And underneath your center console here, you'll have these various toggle switches which are mainly dedicated to control your air conditioning. The Tiggo 2 Pro also comes with a key fob and a push to start system. As you can see here, these vents are about 5 inches wide, and because of that, it provides a very good airflow towards you and your rear passengers. Underneath these air conditioning controls are multiple storage spaces to put your things when you're driving. You have a platform which has a rubber padding in here, and so you can put your phone or your wallet and you don't have to worry that they'll slip and fall when you turn. Under this storage platform over here, you have this wide space as well. And this portion of this space features a wireless charger. So if your phone also comes with a wireless charging feature, simply put your phone in here and the car will automatically charge your smartphone. Shifting is courtesy of this rectangular shifting lever here. So if you want to switch from park to drive, simply push this button here and pull the shift lever to drive. And when you're in drive mode and you push the shift lever to the right, you'll gain access to manual shifting. Over here, you'll have your volume button to increase or decrease the volume of your music. And if you press here, it puts the center console to sleep. When you press the volume button again, it wakes up the center console. Here you also have your home button for the center console, and this button here is the driving mode. The Chery Tiggo 2 Pro comes with 2 driving modes, and right now we are in sport mode. And when I press this mode button over here, it will switch the car to eco mode. And when I press it again, it will switch the car back to sport mode. Adding more amenities to the driver is this cup holder with these rubber spacers over here. And so when you put a cup, the cup won't move around as you drive, and so you can drive with peace of mind that your beverage or your cup of Starbucks won't spill. And when you open the center armrest, you'll gain access to this center storage, and inside the center storage is this 12-volt power socket. more features that contribute to the sportiness of the interior of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro are these seats. These seats combine two materials, so you have this faux leather material here, and at the side supporting your back is this fabric with a nice design that kind of reminds me of the Chery's grill. The driver's seat comes with manual adjustment, but it's fine. So here's my sitting position over here, and if we move to the back, you still have enough space for a smaller passenger. The rear passenger seats also use the same materials used by the front seats. And lastly, when you open the trunk space of the Tiggo 2 Pro, you'll be greeted by this very huge trunk space, which is enough to let you put a weekend worth of luggage whenever you decide to go out of town. I like the engine of the Tiggo 2 Pro. For a small naturally aspirated 1.5-liter engine, it has enough grunt to pull the car from a standstill. And I can say that the engine was tuned to provide low-end torque instead of chasing top-end power. And now we're inside the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. And first, I'd like to talk about the engine of this car. So this car comes with a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. And upon driving the car, I could immediately say that the engine isn't tuned for performance, and instead, it's geared more towards smoothness of driving and fuel economy. For a car of its size, the 1.5-liter engine provides ample amount of power from the get-go or from a standstill, but the power immediately tapers off as soon as you rev the engine higher. And I think that's not just attributable to the engine of the Tiggo 2 Pro, and instead it can also be attributed to how the transmission is geared, because this car comes with a 9-speed CVT transmission and the gears are spaced near with each other, and so there is very short gearing in the Tiggo 2 Pro, but we'll dive deeper in the transmission later on. And going back to the engine, as I mentioned, the Tiggo 2 Pro's 1.5-liter engine, the way I experienced it, is geared more towards those people who want to drive at a relaxed pace, because although you can drive this car at a faster pace, I really think that the engine isn't designed for that. And if you want a sporty car, I don't think that this is the right one for you. But if you're looking for a budget-friendly car with a lot of amenities inside, and with an engine that provides enough power to get you from point A to point B, well, this is the car for you. And even though I mentioned that the engine isn't designed to be driven in a sporty manner, I'm not saying that the engine is underwhelming. And so when you're driving a car like this, you should also learn to manage your expectations as regards the performance or the things that you can and you cannot do from the car. And in the case of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, even though I mentioned that the engine isn't designed for a spirited driving, I'm not saying that it is underwhelming in any way, because going into this review, I already knew that this car is for those people who want to buy their first car, or maybe those people who are just learning how to drive. And because of that, those people might not want to drive at a faster pace or at a spirited pace around corners. And besides, with the combination of the engine tuning and the transmission, I really think that the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is designed for consumers who are mainly driving inside the cities. Because inside cities, distances from point A to point B are much shorter. You don't need to get to a higher speed. Driving the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro in full automatic mode was a pleasure. The 9-speed CVT transmission was buttery smooth. You won't even feel it changing gears in normal situations. But if you push it hard enough, it'll hold on to its gear to a higher rev range. But of course, the power isn't stellar, so there's no point in pushing the car too hard. And now let's move to the transmission of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. This car comes with a CVT transmission with 9 speeds. And I think this is the very first car that I've driven with more than 6 gears, and so the experience is very new to me. What I immediately noticed about the transmission of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is that the gears are spaced near with each other, and so at first gear, the maximum speed that you can achieve is only about 20 kilometers per hour, and in second gear, I think it's just 40 kilometers per hour, which is very far from transmissions of cars with only 5 or 6 speeds, wherein you can get to a higher speed just by using the first or second gear. And this is also the biggest factor why I mentioned or why I figured out that the Tiggo 2 Pro is mainly for city driving. Because the most obvious drawback in this transmission is that since the gears are spaced near with each other, it means that the car has to shift more frequently when compared to other cars with fewer transmission gears. And the main advantage of having a 9-speed CVT transmission is in regards to fuel economy. And according to Chery Bacolor Pampanga, this unit can get as much as 18 kilometers per liter. And so when you're driving inside the city, which in most cars would yield fewer kilometers per liter, a car that is as economical as the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is a very wise choice for those people who are looking for a cheaper way to get from home to work and vice versa. And what I noticed about the transmission of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is that in full auto mode, the shifting is very smooth. And so you won't even feel the car shifting from first to second all the way to higher gears. And right now we're running in 60 kilometers per hour. And right now the gear is in 8th gear. And I didn't even feel it shifting since I started driving it. The transmission of the Tiggo 2 Pro, or to be specific, its shift lever can be pushed to the right. With that, you can access manual shifting, and so you can manually shift to higher or lower gears. In the Tiggo 2 Pro, I won't recommend driving it in manual mode because the gears are spaced very near with each other, and so when you drive the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro in manual mode, you'll notice yourself shifting more frequently, and it defeats the purpose of getting an automatic vehicle, and so I won't recommend doing that. And so if you happen to buy one of these cars, just leave it in full automatic drive mode and just enjoy the smooth shifting experience inside the car. The Tiggo 2 Pro is not a canyon carver, and it's not even pretending that it is. It's a subcompact crossover that's trying to provide a plush ride on smooth pavements, and it succeeded on that aspect. But because it has a torsion beam at the rear wheels instead of independent suspensions, driving over potholes or wide road cracks can be jarring. Be that as it may, the disc brakes on all 4 wheels will provide enough stopping power to let you avoid road imperfections. And now let's move to the handling and suspension of the car. The Tiggo 2 Pro comes with 16-inch wheels, and since it comes with smaller wheels, you cannot expect the car to have a plush ride over uneven roads or more so on potholes on the road. Because to achieve a plush ride over road imperfections, you'll usually need bigger tires and larger wheels for that. And since this car has the opposite, I would say that the suspension provides enough comfort when you're driving the car. And obviously this car wasn't designed to be driven off-road. Perhaps 99% of the time you'll be driving this on smooth pavement inside the city. And when you use it the way it's intended to be used, I could say that the ride is comfortable enough to make you enjoy the driving dynamics of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. And handling is a very easy experience because primarily the Tiggo 2 Pro is a subcompact crossover, and so it doesn't occupy a lot of space on the road. And so navigating it inside cities or tight corners or tight streets, you won't even sweat using this car. And I think that is the main point of the Tiggo 2 Pro. It's a car designed so that you won't have a hard time driving, unlike when you're driving an SUV or a pickup truck or other larger vehicles. For me, the handling and suspension of a car go hand in hand because suspension always affects handling. So there's a reciprocal interaction between those two aspects of driving a car. And the way I see it, the suspension of this car was designed to have more travel despite sitting, lower on the ground and despite having smaller wheels. And with more suspension travel, it can provide a smoother and a more comfortable ride. But the drawback in having a suspension with longer travel is that the sharpness of the handling gets diminished. But the way I see it, when you're driving this car at a much slower pace, at a relaxed pace, wheelbase, the suspension is actually very comfortable. It has enough cushioning to dampen road imperfections. However, the main drawback is that the handling can't be considered sharp, but at the same time, it cannot also be considered vague because for what it is, the car handles well, but you can't expect too much from it. And lastly, the Tiggo 2 Pro comes with 4-disc brakes on all its 4 wheels, and because of that, the car has enough stopping power. As soon as you touch the brake pedal, you'll feel the brakes biting, and for me, it kinda makes me drive the car more confidently, especially when you're in heavy traffic where cars swerve in and out of your lane. It also lessens the fatigue when you don't have to press the brake pedal deeply whenever you try to make the car run slower. The Tiggo 2 Pro wasn't designed to turn heads or to impress people with long-time driving experience. It's geared towards providing a non-overwhelming experience for those who are just starting to drive. It may also be great for couples who live in the city and are starting a family and want to go on some occasional weekend long trips. With that in mind, the Tiggo 2 Pro is Chery's entry-level offering in their wide range of crossovers and SUVs. And for an entry-level subcompact crossover, the Tiggo 2 Pro had its weaknesses, but it didn't disappoint. And as such, I think it's reasonable to expect more from their mid to higher spec offerings. The Chery brand has evolved and is now primed to battle against Japanese and American brands who once dominated the playing field. They're going full throttle to establish their territory in the Philippine automotive market, and I'm excited to see more from them. This has been Enzo from AutoTune. Till next time.